Right, so we've got our bucket and our mineral spirits, our nice new bucket, first part of the thing. Pour some spirits on me. Lost my brushes now. So I'll give this all a good clean, get it ready, and then next job is the reassembly with the new parts. So everything's coming up nice and clean. Really hasn't taken much to do that. That a wee shake. It's looking pretty good though. Right, that stuff's all clean. Okay, so I've just found that this little valve over here does come out. It's another quarter turn kind of dealy. So we'll bag that one up. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out of here. These are all quarter turn ones. Right, so we'll just give that a wee clean, then we can put those bits back in. There we go, so we'll just give these all a bit of a rinse, and we can right, so the final part of cleaning is the clean up all the bores. I'll look at what size brushes we need for all of these. All looks pretty good. So obviously try not to get your brush stuck in there. Oh, fuck's sake. Might try a smaller brush. Well, most important part to check is where we actually drill through, and it looks like there's a tiny little burr in there, so give that one at least a good clean. Looks better, so shiny and clean that all looks now. Okay, next step is reassembly. So we're clean. We'll clean up our valves as we go. WD-40s are recommended, or a recommended installation lubricant. So we'll give each bore a squirt of that before we pop the valves in. And again, we're not going to force anything. Just try and drop things into place. Now we're going to move through these instructions here to install the kit. First of all, get this aligned as they do. Step 1, we're going to install the lockup bushing and valve, the new lockup bushing and valve. So here we go, here's our new lock-up bushing and valve. It's going to replace that bit and that bit. These nice shiny new bits. Slides in there quite nicely. It's reasonably smooth, but there is a little bit of wear sticking in that one, so that's the one we're replacing with this one here. That goes behind our N89 valve. So again, a bit of assembly, WD-40. And we drop in the spring first. We drop in the valve. Okay, that's fallen in quite nicely, so that's good. And our next one. Here we go, that one's in there. Of course, the good thing about using spirits to clean stuff is all your numbers you've written on bags get rubbed off, so pretty sure that's our next one. Now we've got to refer back to this service guide because this has got all of our valve orientations. This one is spring first, followed by that's in that direction. Beaut, that one's in. Next one. So this one we have our spring seat, followed by a spring, followed by one of them. Again, we'll just let that, don't force anything, let things fall in nice and gently. Make sure it's fully seated. Looking good so far. Number 2. That's not number 2, that's number 2. Quick clean. Spray some WD on it. Fixes most things. I think we've got our technique sus for getting these back in. Slides in nicely. They will feel nice and smooth. Last one of these, number 1. This one here we got spring followed by one of them. That's the WD magic. Beautiful. Cool, so we got those four. We also got this one here that we took out subsequently. Give that a quick clean. That goes in our end hole next to the manual valve. So this one is like this. Right, so that side of the valve body's done. We can actually put the new valves, new solenoids in there. Then call that a, call that whatever you want. Right, so we've run into our first problem. Instead of receiving 5 of this kind of solenoids, 2 of this one, we received 5 of this one, 2 of this one. Finding that at midnight last night, a little bit annoying. I had these shipped to my, I've got a US postal address that gets redirected over here. It's quite a good service run by New Zealand Post, saves me a lot of money in shipping. So to me it seemed like it's going to be a big issue to get this sorted. So I went and emailed the seller, bought these off eBay, emailed the seller, DMA Auto Parts in Naples, Florida. Nice place, went there about 20 odd years ago. It rained most of the time from what I remember, but a nice place. And within 5 minutes, Ryan from DMA Parts, he replied and said, okay, I'll send you 3 new solenoids, give me your address. So I gave him my address here and they're on their way. So parts businesses deal with a lot of different parts. Mistakes happen, no big deal. It's just often how companies resolve these things that make them stand out as a good supplier. So you couldn't ask for more from DMA Parts. Solved my problem in 5 minutes. Didn't have to get angry, it just got fixed. So that's all you look for. That's one of the main things to look for in a parts supplier. When things go wrong, how do they fix them? So even though they got it wrong, big shout out to DMA Parts, Naples, Florida, whatever they are on eBay. But yeah, I'll buy from them again because I know things go wrong. We're dealing with 20-year-old complex cars, they probably will. They're going to sort me out, so thank you, Ryan. So where does that leave us from here? Got to wait a week for the solenoids, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to carry on with the rebuild, put the old solenoids in for the moment, just have the valve body sat there ready to go so we can put it on the car as soon as we've got the new solenoids. This way we can keep it covered in oil, keep it all nice and greasy and stop any rust that might happen in the next week. It's like 32 degrees Celsius at the moment, no humidity, so rust shouldn't be a problem, but we'll keep it all lubed up. Things are always better with lube, so we'll get it to that stage. Right, so what we're going to do to stop these valves coming back out, because they're just in there loose, we're going to put the old solenoids back in, and we'll put the bracket on. Call that a job for now, so we'll stand it up. We'll pop these in where they belong. check that the valves are nice and free. I don't need to tighten anything too much here. Just up and down. Right. So that's that side, so they can wibble wobble as much as they want. And we'll start work on this side. We've got the new pressure regulator to go in there. We've got a few settings to play with in here. But we'll get this valve in, the one we're not doing anything with. If you didn't have the diagram, I didn't pay close attention to how things came out of here, you could easily get stuck, because a lot of them the spring goes on the inside or it goes on the outside. Of course, remember our lube, everything's better with lube. Refer to our diagram, this one goes in before the spring. Make sure it goes all the way. Double there. Let's go all the way. Okay, one down. Now what we can do on, we've got the two solenoids, we can put two new ones in there, because we've got one of each type for those. So these only go in one way, we've got one of each kind. A little bit of magic on there. Bracket a quick clean. Next we'll put the cover on this side. We've got four check balls to go in, two smaller ones, two bigger ones. Okay, so we'll just use a couple of these rods just to ensure we've got things lined up properly. Right, let's put that plate on. balls moving around, slightly disconcerting, but that's cool. So now we've got a spring, there's its hole, 6mm ball. You probably need to ask yourself how on earth do you get that on with the plate steady in place, but we're about to find out, so have a go. Don't drop it. There we go. Use a suitable dowel, make sure stuff stays aligned. Right, there we go, that's the most terrifying part, when it was all apart. Now it's all back together. Feel a little bit happy about that. And what have we got next? We've still got that PR valve. We'll do that one next, eh? Yeah, that's fallen in nicely. And we've got our new spring. That's my WD. And we reuse the plastic hole. Just give it a quick play. Well, it's got little tabs on, so you just push it in, turn it quarter turn, and it locks in. Don't overdo it. Turns clockwise. That's locked in. Cool. Then what we do next, we take that back out and realise we need to put a seal on that valve. Yeah, so we'll just drop that in. a few issues getting the new pressure regulator valve in with its seal, so I've taken this cover off so we can actually get a bit closer to the seal and maybe just tease it in with a little pick. So we'll do this carefully. We'll take out our check balls again. There we go, so just need a little bit of help to get it seated, just get that ring over. So I'll put the spring and bits in next, so it's all nice and secure. Again, we've got our cap, gets reused, it's a quarter turn jobby. We might just put this other valve in before we put the plate back on, just so we know we're golden. So what's next? Next we're doing this boost regulator. Just like old one of those. Last few bits to go in, exciting times. So here's our old boost regulator. We reuse that valve, but we've got a new spring and a new locking cap. Boost regulator, cone upwards. Drop straight in. Just give you a wee close up of this bit here. So that's the valve I've just been battling with. See how that one drops down into the valve body. There's just the Teflon ring that was, or whatever ring it was, getting caught up on there. But that's sat in nicely. We've got the lid on. Now with the one I've just dropped down, this boost regulator. So we've got the valve in, we've got a new spring, we've got a C-clip, we've got a locking pin, and we've got a depth gauge and a cover. So I'll go ahead and stick those in and take it from there. Right, so I've got the valve in. Got a new spring, lube it up, then we've got an adjuster, what you do, this adjuster is actually the right length, so when this bottoms out and starts to stand up proud, that's when you're done. There we go, so we screw that down until that's pretty much flush with the valve body. Then we install our locking pin, which locks it in place. Drop the retaining pin into a slot. I just need to adjust that slightly so we wind up somewhere. We'll put in our C-clip. We do. Not quite. Okay, we don't have circular pliers that small. We'll do it with a pick. Okay, so we need to modify these. It's going to be our best bet to do it. So Okay, that looks like it's going to do the job now. So we got one side in, now I might just try a pick. There we go, bit of an effort, had to modify my $10 circlip pliers, but that one's in. So just that manual valve which sits over here, and the whole thing's back as to how it should be. Slides nicely in, so there we go, like I bought one. There we go, back together. Once we've got the new solenoids, slap those in, whack it on the car, hopefully drive it down the road. So until next time, thanks for watching.